Well, hello and welcome again to our reading of Acts. We're looking at chapter 1 and we're going to start from verse 6. And as I said in the previous video, I'll do these slowly initially and then we'll speed up as time goes on. So we get a hoi men, which is going to be balanced by an apendet. You don't often get this balancing but in New Testament Greek, but we do it when we come to Luke's Gospel. So they are therefore, this is the disciples, having come together. Erotone is from the verb erotao, it's the imperfect. So they began to ask him, saying, Kyrie, O Lord. Now you have to understand something here, something like tell us. So tell us, and it's a question, will you tell us if or whether you will establish the kingdom for Israel at this time? Now the verb here is interesting. It's apo plus kata plus the verb histano, which is a later regularized form of histemi. So you get histano. Histemi is a complicated verb, and they took the root of it and regularized it by just adding in an arm first present iterative form and then adding an omega on the end to form this apokathistano. So tell us whether you will establish at this time the kingdom for Israel. And he said to them, Uk humon estin, it is not yours to know, it is not of you to know. So it is not yours to know, this is the infinitive from ginosko, to know times and seasons. Relative pronoun which the Father, etheto, this is the aorist middle from tithemi, which the signs and seasons which the Father has placed, literally, well, this is this use of in, meaning by his own, his idios, his own authority. But now there again is the future from lambano, and again you see this infix mu here. It would be leipses there in classical Greek, but we get the mu infix from the present tense stays in the future. But you will see power, and we get a genitive absolute, the Holy Spirit coming upon you. Perhaps it will, so when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, you will receive power, and you will be, future from Amy, my witnesses. Now we get a te and kai, both in Jerusalem and in all of Judea and Samaria, and until the end of the earth, as far as the end of the earth. And having said these things, and another genitive absolute here, while they are looking, while the disciples are looking, ep arethe, this is from ep iro. This is from ep iro to, and it's a aorist passive here. He was taken up, and a cloud, hoop elabon from hooper lambano, literally is to take him from underneath. So received him, apotone, from ophthalmon outone, from their eyes. And when, now we get the interesting periphrastic construction here, which is more like English than Greek, but is again fairly common in Luke. This is a participle from atenisdo, which is to stare. So while they were staring, so it's almost English idiom where we use the verb to be with the participle, but this is a periphrastic construction. So, and when they were staring, into the heaven, genitive absolute, as he was going, so as he was departing, and behold, two men per hestekesan. Now that is a pluperfect, interestingly. We don't get too many of those in the New Testament. Two men had stood beside them in white raiment. This is a third declension noun from estes. This is the dative plural. And two men had stood beside them in white raiment. Hoi kai apen, and they said, Men Galileans, why hestakete? This is from hestaka, which is the perfect from histemi, meaning, and that has present meaning, to stand. So why do you stand, emblepontes, looking into the heaven? Hutos ho Jesus, this Jesus, the one having been taken up. This is the aorist passive again, that infixed mu there from Anna Lambano. The one having been taken up from you into the heaven. Hutos, perhaps in the same way, or perhaps just thus. Thus eleusatai, this is from the future, from erkamai is eleusamai, thus he will come, hon tropon, again it's that hyperbaton, in the manner in which you saw him going into the heaven. So thus he will come in that manner in which you were seeing him going perhaps into heaven. And this is the aorist from diamai. And that section then is the Ascension. And I'll finish at that point, and we'll continue on in another video.